Is there anybody who asks you about how far is your school from your house? So how far is your school from your house? Does somebody ask you about it already? Now, is it your is it 20 kilometers? So that's the distance between your house and your school. Is it 20 kilometers? Now, when we're talking about how far, what we are actually referring to. So we're asking about how far. What are we referring to? The word far. How far? So we're actually referring to the word distance. Now, did your teacher mention to you about this word when you are in elementary? Distance. So when you take exam, you should be in distant with each other. So did your teacher mention to you already? Now, there is a term in math which refers to distance. And what is this term which refers to distance in math? So there is a specific term for this. So what is the term which refers to distance from 0 on the number line? What is this term? So this term is called as absolute value. Had you heard this word already, absolute value? And had you heard also number line? So these two things is what I wanted you to learn, number line and absolute value. So let's give a official definition of absolute value. Now, what is absolute value? Okay, absolute value refers to the distance from 0 on the number line. So this is the definition of absolute value. Distance from 0 in the number line. So our reference is 0, or our starting number is 0. Okay, now what is the symbol for absolute value? Actually, the symbol for absolute value are 2 bars. So this is the symbol for absolute value. Now, okay. So what is a number line looks like? Okay, so this is a number line. So do you know already, had you seen, or does your teacher did your teacher uh, teach you already about this number line? Are you refreshed with your knowledge in elementary about number line? So this is a number line. It is a line in which the center is 0, and on its right side are the numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's positive numbers. And on the left side, do you know how to read these numbers on the left side? We have -1, -2, -3, -4. So this is a typical number line. This is a number line. So there is an arrow on both ends, and the center is 0. And on the left side are the negative numbers, and on the right side are the positive numbers. So this is a number line. Okay. Now example. How are we going to read this? How are we going to read this? And what is the meaning of this? And what is the answer of this? Now, focus. So this is read as absolute value of -3. Absolute value of -3. This is how we are to read. Okay. Now, how about this? How are we going to read this one? This is read as absolute value of positive 5. Now, let's proceed to the next. Okay, let's answer this. Find the absolute value of the following numbers. So the first example is, what is the answer for this? Absolute value of negative 3. What is the answer? So the answer is, what is the answer? The answer is positive 3. Now let's interpret this equation. So when we say absolute value of negative 3 is equal to 3, let's interpret what is this 3 and what is this negative 3. So this 3 refers to what? Distance. So this refers to the distance. So the distance between 0 and what is this negative 3? So this negative 3 refers to the reference number on the number line. So this is the reference number. Now, how are we going to interpret this number 1? Absolute value of negative 3 is equal to 3. How are we going to interpret this one? So the interpretation of this is that the distance of negative 3 from 0 in the number line is 3 units. Again, to interpret this equation, the distance of negative 3 from 0 in the number line is 3 units. So, in our number line, we have a number line, okay, in which the center is 0, and at the left side of 0 are negative numbers, and at the right side of 0 are positive numbers. Now, I highlighted negative 3 and 0. It's because these are the two significant numbers, or these are the two important numbers in our example number 1. So this negative 3 is our reference number, and reference number from 0. So we always start with 0. So from 0, how far is negative 3 from 0? How far is negative 3 from 0? So if we are to count out from 0 to 3, how many steps? We have 1, 2, 3. So therefore, the distance of negative 3 from 0 is 3 units, and that is our example. So the distance of negative 3 from 0 is 3 units. Here is the formal writing for this. So here is 3 units, the distance of 0 and negative 3. Let's have next example. Okay, so what is the answer for this? Before number 1, we have absolute value of negative 3. And how about positive 3? What is the answer? Absolute value of positive 3. The answer is still positive 3. Why it is so? Why is it that when we answer what is the absolute value of negative 3, the answer is positive 3. Absolute value of positive 3, answer is positive 3. Why is it? Why is it? It's because there is no negative for distance. So therefore, in absolute value, our answer is always positive because there is no negative for distance. And again, let's interpret each of these. What is 3 and what is this one? So this 3 here is our distance. And this one is our reference number. Now, the whole interpretation of this number 2 is that the distance, or what is the whole representation of this number 2. This is the distance of positive 3 from 0 is 3 units. Okay? In Venn diagram, no, rather in a number line. So in a number line, so we have a number line which the center is 0. Here I highlighted 0 and positive 3. So here, the positive 3. So what is the distance of positive 3 from 0? This is 1, 2, 3. So 3 units. Okay? Here it is. So the distance of 3 from 0, okay, the distance of 3 from 0 is 3 units. We count out 1, 2, 3. So 3 units. So the distance of 0 and 3. So this is the interpretation of this absolute value. So the distance of positive 3 from 0 is 3 units. Do you understand? Okay.